You're at a table surrounded by friends. The music is just a bit too loud, and you can feel the condensation on the glass in your hand, except your glass is filled with water or soda. You catch that specific, fleeting look from across the table, a mix of confusion and subtle judgment that makes you feel like you're missing a piece of a puzzle everyone else solved hours ago. Then comes the inevitable, "Are you okay? Is it a health thing, or are you just being boring tonight?" It's that uncomfortable pause where you feel forced to justify why you're choosing to stay exactly as you are. If you've ever felt like the odd one out just for wanting to keep your head clear, comment the word clarity below. And make sure to like and subscribe, because what's actually happening in that moment has nothing to do with being stiff or no fun. In fact, it's a sign that your brain is operating on a much more sophisticated frequency than the people around you realize. There's a hidden biological reason why your mind refuses to just let go, and it all starts with a specific internal compass that most people haven't even discovered they have yet. As the night goes on, the room starts to feel smaller. The floor gets that familiar, tacky stickiness, and the heavy, sweet scent of fermented hops begins to hang thick in the air. You're standing there, and while everyone else seems to be merging into one loud, blurry collective, you remain sharply defined. You start to notice the small things, the way a friend's eyes lose their focus, the slight slur in a sentence that was coherent just 10 minutes ago, and the way the laughter is getting louder but less connected to anything actually funny. It's frustrating because you're watching a deep conversation you were enjoying slowly dissolve into repetitive loops and surface-level noise. You feel like a high-definition observer in a low-resolution room, processing every shift in the environment with a clarity that feels almost heavy. You aren't failing to socialize. You're simply experiencing a version of reality that's far more intense and detailed than the one the people around you are drifting into. But here's the thing. This isn't just about being observant. There's a deep-seated reason why your brain refuses to trade that clarity for comfort, and it involves a psychological boundary that most people are terrified to even look at. People love to label what they don't understand, so they call you rigid, judgmental, or the boring one who doesn't know how to let loose. But let's dismantle that myth right now. Refusing a drink isn't a sign that you're broken or repressed. It's actually a sign of a highly functional internal filter. You aren't rejecting fun or being a killjoy. You're making a proactive, conscious choice to prioritize your own mental state over a temporary social expectation. It's not a personality flaw, and it's certainly not a lack of confidence. It is a biological boundary set by a brain that values its own autonomy. While others see a simple glass of beer, your system sees a chemical that reorganizes your internal home without your permission, moving the furniture of your thoughts and reactions. This isn't about being a party pooper. It's about a fundamental difference in how your brain processes rewards. And once you see the neurological machinery behind this choice, you'll realize that your restraint is actually a hidden superpower that most people are completely blind to. This isn't just a mood, it's a biological blueprint known as an internal locus of control, which essentially means you carry the steering wheel of your life in your own hands rather than letting the crowd drive for you. While many people operate like a social mirror, automatically clapping when others clap or drinking because it's what you do, your brain is equipped with a powerful internal filter that constantly asks, is this coming from me or is it coming from the outside? Science shows that people like you often have a more active prefrontal cortex, the brain's analytical advisor that calculates 3 steps ahead while everyone else is living in the impulsive now. You aren't just overthinking, you're evaluating tomorrow's energy and tonight's words before the glass even touches your lips. On top of that, your nervous system likely processes stimuli with a much higher intensity. What others feel as a light, pleasant buzz, your brain might process as a loud, jarring loss of equilibrium, like someone turned the volume of your sensations to a level that feels more like anxiety than relaxation. You aren't being dramatic, you are simply feeling more of everything, and your brain has learned to trust that "this doesn't feel right" signal. But this heightened sensitivity isn't just about avoiding a drink. It's actually the doorway to a much deeper, more authentic type of connection that most people spend their whole lives trying to find. Every time you consider saying yes just to blend in, you're actually making a silent trade. You're weighing a fleeting moment of social ease against a very real emotional hangover that lasts long after the night ends. While others are buying into a temporary chemical shortcut, you're protecting your Monday morning, that sharp, focused energy, and the deep satisfaction of knowing you stayed entirely true to yourself. That uncomfortable pause when you refuse a drink, it's not a moment of weakness, it's a moment of immense power. You are the only person in that room whose mood and laughter are 100% authentic and not manufactured by a substance. You're choosing real, high-fidelity connection, the kind of 2 a.m. conversation where both people are fully present, over a facilitated intimacy that evaporates as soon as the sun comes up. You've realized that the small spark of fitting in isn't worth the cost of losing your mental clarity. But there is one final piece to this puzzle, a reason why your brain might be pre-wired to see these patterns more clearly than anyone else, and it's something you likely learned long before you ever stepped into a party. Understand this: your brain's craving for high-fidelity living isn't a defect or a sign of rigidity, it is a profound gift of self-awareness. You aren't missing out on the experience. In fact, because your adjustments are set for maximum clarity, you are often the only one truly experiencing the night in all its raw, unfiltered detail. When the next party comes and that inevitable question arises, you don't need a medical excuse or a defensive apology. Just own your internal compass. Use a simple, powerful script. I actually prefer the way the night feels when I'm fully present. It shifts the conversation from what you're missing to the value of what you're gaining. Total autonomy over your own mind. Normalize that quiet, steady frequency you operate on. It's a sign of deep coherence between your values and your actions, a rare trait that fosters true self-knowledge. If this resonates with the way your world works, share this video with that one friend who always gets it, the one who values real presence as much as you do. Join our community of people who prefer living with their eyes wide open by subscribing, and let's keep exploring the fascinating ways our minds actually work. Thanks for being here, and for being yourself.